A key race we may not be able to call tonight, the Democratic primary for Congressional District 1.
It is a packed field. 6 candidates running on the Democratic side. David Schweikert is the Republican incumbent. He's been in there for a long time, facing one challenger tonight on the Republican side. But let's check in with Steve Nielsen, who's live with more on why this race may be so close tonight on the Democratic side, and the winning margin might be in the high 20s.
Absolutely, because there's 6 challengers here, and all of these challengers on the Democratic side all have some level of confidence that they will do very well tonight. It's just that tight. Polling would really suggest that as well. All of these candidates, too, they have spent a lot of money over the last few weeks and months getting ready for this day. They're trying to differentiate themselves, stand out in a crowded field. One of the reasons it's just so crowded is because experts believe this is one of the seats that Democrats can pick up and take from the Republicans in November. Connor O'Callaghan, he sent us a photo of him voting early. Marlene Golan-Woods also did the same. Andrew Horn spoke to us outside of a voting center in the district. Andre Cherney, who has spent the most in this race so far, he also spoke to us after voting.
Going to different polling places, making sure that every single person votes, no matter who you're voting for, no matter what party you are, go out there and vote. This is your day to make your voice heard.
Schweikert's been in office for 14 years, and he has a good chance to get removed. So coming out for this election is extremely important.
Schweikert is probably one of the top 10 most vulnerable Republicans in Congress. And Democrats only need to net 4 seats if they're going to take back the House this cycle. And so this is one of those potential must-win districts that could determine control of the House next year.
Now, several times we have reached out to Congressman Schweikert's team to try to see what his voting plans would be today, catch up with him as he voted. He never responded to us for a comment on that. Going forward here, going to be very interesting to see what happens because, again, polling suggests all 6 of these candidates really have a shot tonight. None of them poll better than the teens. And in fact, the leader in this race right now is unsure or undecided. That's polling at 35%.
Steve, question about the power of incumbency. Usually in the past, when somebody's been in Congress 14 years, they are very, very hard to knock off and displace. They say they've ascended to God. They're almost untouchable unless there's a scandal. Now, Schweikert had a scrape a few years ago with the campaign finance stuff, but that's going back now 2 cycles. That may not really resonate because he's already survived that. But is incumbency a positive here or not?
I mean, incumbency is always a positive for name value alone. When I go through the list of all 6 of those Democrats' names, they certainly don't have the same name recognition that Schweikert's name does have out here. Over time, though, this district has changed in its demographics. In fact, the precinct I'm standing in right now, the reason I'm here, just a few weeks ago, John, you know this, we did a story out here. This is actually the closest precinct in all of Maricopa County between registered Republicans and registered Democrats. It's only separated by 2. This is so close here right now.
Yeah.
And when you talk about the campaign issues that Schweikert had 2 cycles ago, I've talked to a lot of people voting in this district over the last few weeks. No one's even brought that up. It hasn't been mentioned. I don't think that's the issue. Right here, it seems to be more of a policy issue on whether or not you stand with or against Donald Trump.
Wow.
Right.
Okay, he's been a little bit quiet about Trump. He hasn't said a lot about Trump.
You're absolutely right about that, but the Republicans here, yard signs don't vote right, but every single house I've seen with a Schweikert sign out here also has a Donald Trump sign right next to it.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's got a pretty long history with Trump. He was one of Trump's advisors on budget and tax policy, and he would go to the White House sometimes once a week to confer with Donald Trump. Trump believed that he had a lot of knowledge in that area, and he called him in.
And every one of the Democrats here, they have tried to tie Schweikert more and more to MAGA, thinking that that would help them out here. But something I've seen all of the Democrats in this race really struggle with, guys, is trying to differentiate themselves.
Yeah.
Why are they the person that should go up against the congressman?
It's tough.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see who comes out on top. Crowded race. We'll see.
Yep.
Steve, thank you.